Okay guys, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this benchmark sample 1 question that you guys had on your first test and that we're working on in class. Just get a quick review of it. So as the Robinson family hosts a family reunion at the event, attendees will be purchasing lunch and a t-shirt. Function f of x shown on the coordinate plane represents the cost per person for a family reunion t-shirt. Graph the function g of x, which represents the cost per person for lunch, okay? G of x equals 3.5x. So y'all gotta realize here, there's 2 functions. There's f of x, which they show us, and then they're gonna want us to go ahead and graph. So I'll just draw a quick graph here. This 3.5x. So if I do that, I'm just gonna have, okay, 1, rise over run, the slope is 3.5. So you rise 3.5 and you run 1 and you go up to 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I thought. Okay, and you'll just draw a line that looks like this. Okay, that's all you need to do. Okay, you would do it on here, so it should look. You should have a point about right here. You should have a point about right there. Okay. So that's a quick graph, seeing if you can graph a line, basically. Okay. It doesn't have a y-intercept, just has a slope. Just remember, rise over run. So the rise is 3.5. The run, well, that's 3.5 over 1. So this is g of x is 3.5 over 1x. Okay. So just if you forget that the run is 1, you can always rewrite 3.5 as 3.5 over 1. Alright, so determine the total cost for 5 people to buy lunch and a t-shirt at the family reunion. Explain how you arrived at your answer. So for B here, I'm going to think, okay, well, to get lunch, it's g of x. Okay, so I need to plug in 5 for x. So I'm going to go, okay, g of 5 equals 3.5 times 5, okay? 5 times 5, 25, carry the 2, would be 17.5. A lot of you guys got that. Now the part y'all forgot is, well, it's asking not just for lunch, but for lunch and a t-shirt, okay? For lunch and a t-shirt. Now this line represents a t-shirt, so let's look right here. 5 people, so x is 5, and that's going to be $25. I can just look here at the graph and see that's $25. So I'm going to add 25 to this. All right, so 7.5, that's 0.5. 7 plus 5 is 22, carry the 1. It's going to be $32.50, so $32.50, okay? So a lot of you guys got this 17.5, but y'all forgot to look for this 25 and realize that it's 2 separate functions. So that idea of it being 2 separate functions helps us out with number 3. It says write a function h of x that represents the total cost for any number of family reunion attendees x who purchased both a lunch and a t-shirt. Explain your reasoning, okay? So of course here I didn't explain my reasoning, but I'd expect you guys to write something down explaining your reasoning just in a brief sentence. I'm just kind of doing this quickly for you guys. So h of x, okay, that's just going to be your cost for a lunch, which is g of x, and they called this f of x. So h of x equals g of x plus x f of x. Well, we already know g of x. G of x is 3.5x. Okay. Now f of x, I can look at this graph and I can find the equation. So you just use y equals mx plus b. Well, there's the y-intercept is 0. Now the slope, let's see, rise 5, run 1. So the slope's going to be 5 over 1. So f of x equals 5x. So I'm just going to put that in there, 5x, okay? So we got 3.5x plus 5x. Well, those are like terms, so we can combine them. So it's going to be 8.5x. So h of x is 8.5x. And if I'm explaining my reasoning, well, I'm just saying that, okay? I'm saying that, you know, the function for for lunch is g of x, function for t-shirts is f of x, g of x is 3.5. I can look at the graph and find that f of x is 5x and go from there. So the final question is, evaluate the function h of x for x equals 50. Explain the meaning of your context of this problem. Okay, so x equals 50, so let's go with D. I'm just going to do a simple calculation here. So h of 50 equals 8.5 times 50. Okay, so that's 0. And that'd be 85 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, so the $425. Okay, I'm just doing quick math for myself there. Hope it's right. But the main thing I want to see you guys is explain this context. Okay, they want you to a lot of these problems will get you to do a problem and then explain the context. Okay, the context here is h of x tells you the cost of a t-shirt and the cost of the lunch. So what h of 50 is going to tell you is the cost for 50 people to have a t-shirt and a lunch. Okay, so the cost for 50 people to have a t-shirt and a lunch. All right, so that's how you do this benchmark question and finish all these problems, and you're good to go.